Welcome to Trauma Healing for Christian Women. I'm glad you're listening in today. I'm Michelle Croyle, a licensed professional counselor in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I want to talk to you today about the one thing that I see in people and have noticed in myself in the past that allows me to know that there is unresolved trauma, and that is something called activation. But before getting into what activation is and how it works and what it looks like and all of those kinds of things, like what to do with it and how to proceed, I want to just kind of give you a comparison to what I've been through recently, which is I've had a pretty nasty cough for a couple of weeks. I'm finally starting to get to the other side of it, but this cough was something that was just, it came along with a virus. It is just kind of taking me out. I'm sleeping, I'm resting, I'm uncomfortable. I didn't have a voice. I had to reschedule clients or do some by kind of typing, messaging, or base it on what time of the morning I could actually produce enough energy to sit up or to get my voice and speak. And that's kind of what happens with getting hit by trauma. Sometimes it just knocks you down, knocks you out, and you're like, oh man, I've been hit by something really hard. But then, like recently, the last couple of days, I've been fine. And today I went out and I ran some errands and everything seemed okay, but I started to cough. And I hadn't coughed for a while. And I was kind of surprised that the cough came back. Now, I know that coughs can linger after a virus, but it still surprised me because before I even had a chance to kind of realize, oh, well, you were in the warm car and now you're in the freezing air outside of your car in January in Pennsylvania, and that cold air went down into your throat and activated all of those things that get activated after you've been sick, and cold air goes down your throat and then you start coughing and then you can't stop or whatever. I didn't think all of that. I just experienced the the immediate reaction of coughing and the discomfort of it. It was very unpleasant. And so today I want to kind of take that concept for you and talk about how that's similar to trauma. This clear indicator of trauma being unresolved is something called activation. Activation is something we feel in our bodies, just like that cough that came up when I wasn't really wanting it, wasn't really expecting it, but it got tipped off by the wind. That's what happens with trauma. It can sometimes come in unexpected and something sets off the activation of what happened to you, right? The cough is just the sign that I had been sick. It's a lingering symptom, just like the activation is showing what happened to us and showing where the pain points are that still need healing, just like with that cough. So it's something I see again and again in the therapy room, right? And it's something that you can notice in your own life. This isn't to diagnose or label you, but it's to give you a helpful tool that when you notice that something kind of gives you an exaggerated response out of nowhere or an ill-at-ease feeling in your own skin over time, those can be indicators of something that still needs to resolve with healing. And so I want you to kind of think about in your life, are there things that set you off? Are there things that make you react? Kind of, I had this coughing jag, but for you, is it that you're yelling or that you're hiding, that you squelch your voice, or that you people please, or that you kind of try to avoid things, or that you rage at people, right? Those are all quote unquote coughs, right? Those are the things that show up after the trauma that shows what still needs to be healed. And instead of getting upset with it and saying, oh, I'm a horrible person for having this cough, just like you wouldn't do that. You don't need to do that with trauma activation responses or reactions. You just say, oh, wow, that's pointing to the fact that I got really hit by something that my nervous system didn't have the ability to process. Just like a cold, your body just didn't have the ability to fully heal yet, and so you notice the cough. So when you notice any of those types of reactions, those are things that say, hey, there's this activation in my body that's pointing to where the wound is. It's not something that you have to get down on yourself for, or criticize yourself for, or tell yourself you should be better by now, right? About. Like if I told myself you should be over this cough already. Well, I could tell myself that, but the cough's going to go away once the cough heals. Then it goes away. Once the virus is gone, once my whatever, oh, there it goes right on cue, right? Excuse me. Whatever is causing that inflammation inside me is able to be treated and soothed, and it goes away. The cough will resolve. I don't still have coughs from when I was 5 years old or 10 years old. They've gone away because they've healed. Same with my traumas in the past. They've healed, and so I'm no longer activated by them. I can remember that I had them, but they become much more vague and they don't get triggered as easily. And so that's what I want to share with you today. If you're noticing some body activation, call it somatic activation, which just means that your body is still having some coughing jags, so to speak, about survival energy, how you made it through, the ways that your system tried to protect itself when things were too much, too overwhelming, or you didn't have enough support. That's like the cough, right? I can go hours, even days without coughing much at all now. I can walk around acting like I'm completely healthy, but when the cold air hits my throat, my body tells the truth. The cough isn't being overly dramatic. It's not being inconvenient on purpose. It's communicating something real. That's I'm still recovering, right? And trauma works the same way. You might be past the trauma chronologically. Time has marched on. You've built a life. You function. You show up. You cope. That's great. But on the inside, your nervous system may still have parts that get activated when triggers happen, or a certain person says a certain thing, or you experience something or see it on television, or have a body sensation that reminds you of a time that was really unpleasant. That's like those temperature changes from the warmth of my car into freezing conditions sets off the cough. That's how it is with trauma. You can be fine, but then when something brushes up against something unresolved, a wound that needs healing, like a word that triggers something, or a memory that pops up, or someone's tone shifts, or you feel misunderstood or rejected or cornered or overlooked, dismissed. Those are temperature changes, and they can activate what's still hurting and still needs to be resolved. That can come up in many different ways. It's the fight, flight, freeze response, where we might fawn or we might rage, we might shut down or we might bargain. We might go into the people pleasing, or we might go into overthinking or hiding or trying to be a perfectionist or arguing. Those are all basically coughs, so to speak. Okay. And so whatever your system learned would best help you get through this and survive, just like a cough helps get rid of the stuff that's aggravating the system. We need to get that activation to be healed inside you, to calm down, to be soothed. And that's one of the biggest ways to heal unresolved trauma is to soothe it by healing it, by paying attention to it. Just like the cough is an indicator of a cold, the activation in your nervous system is something that is an indicator that trauma was there and healing still needs to take place on that wound. It's not whether you get activated or not. It's how intensely, how often, and how you deal with it, how long it takes you to come back down. So if you notice that you live more in the activation than in relaxation, if your body feels more on edge than at ease, and if these small things can lead to big reactions, it's not something to get down on yourself for. It's something to explore with compassion. What just happened? What set that off? What still needs healing? Healing is found in how we pay attention to those signals and how we treat them with kindness. With my cough, I've had so much warm tea and honey, it's not even funny. I've tried so many different flavors. There are some really good teas out there. My favorite right now is orange tangerine. But, you know, we need to attend to whatever the activation is with awareness first. Hey, I'm being activated. Something's being triggered. Something's having some energy inside. And then we need to learn how to soothe it, how to meet the needs it has, right? Just like the honey helps calm my throat, the kind words, the getting support, the getting therapy, the self care, the prayer, and the rest are the things that can help with trauma, but also really good trauma therapy can help. It can help all of that activation to be able to be processed in a way that's thorough and allows you to finally heal from the trauma. Just like someday I will finally heal from this cold and the cough will go away. You respond with care. When you have trauma activation or you have a cold, you don't need to beat yourself up. You can just notice it and treat it. Get it what it needs so it can heal. So if you would like some help with that, I am taking on intensive clients right now, which means that people come and work with me for 3 or 4 hours over the course of 1 to 3 days, where we really have a focused area that we pay attention to, and we do EMDR processing through it, which is a way that has been scientifically evidence-based, proven that it works to help your nervous system process and let go of trauma. And people are getting really great results. So if you're in Pennsylvania and you'd like to work with me, I'm licensed in Pennsylvania. I would be very honored to hear what you're going through and see if I'm a good fit. And if not, point you in the right direction to someone who might be. Or if you're willing to travel to Pennsylvania, same for you. As long as you're located in Pennsylvania, the possibility for us to work together is there. And I am offering a free 15-minute consult so we can touch base, and you can schedule that by going into the show notes to find the link, or go to calendly.com/Michelle Croyle. That's MICHELLECROYLE. And I'm going to go now and practice what I preach, probably get some warm tea and take care of this cough because it still needs some healing. For this virus needs some healing and this cough needs some soothing. And so that's what I'm going to go take care of for me. Please reach out if I can be of service. And please remember that this is just for informational purposes only, education. This is not therapy. This is not a diagnosis. This is not treatment of any kind. If you need professional help, please seek it out.